Hey, welcome to Janky Audio. I'm going to show off the example scene quickly to you guys. It'll be a fly through, so I'm not going to get too deep into things, but yeah, let's have a look. So, firstly, we've just got a really simple generic Unity reverb preset, which is Stone Room. And then it's going to be really subtle, but there's going to be a blend between the Stone Room preset and another preset, which is called Stone Corridor. And then another blend out here to a preset called Hallway. Now, yet again, these are really subtle, and that's intentional. Kind of the backbone of building reverb and spatial design within video games is keeping things very subtle, but you also want to have the ability to properly articulate the space that you want to present to players, right? And also have your audio properly respond to those spaces. So you'll probably notice that there's a little bit of a change that happens between these two different areas, especially with the footsteps. So what's already started to happen is a mix between that Stone Corridor preset and this preset outside. So there we go. We've arrived in a preset called Hallway. And so some of that decay is kind of dropped off in the background. And it's got a lot less shimmer. Cool. So next one I'll quickly jump to is this audio zone. So this is a janky reverb area with a game object latched to the area. What that does is it allows the game object to follow you around as you move within this space, so you can kind of create volumetric ambiances. So the actual audio source, which is a janky loop audio source, that has a really short distance fade on it. So if it was stationary, you wouldn't be able to hear it on the other side of the water source, but because it follows you through the water source, it's right there with you. And another one that you may not have noticed is also the reverb has changed again to match this audio source. Then it will swing back to Hallway. Oh no, come on, come up. There we go. Cool. And another thing that we have built into this system is audio occlusion, as well as that distance fade. So as you might be able to hear, the water source is now far more ambient in the mix, and we use a reverb filter to pass that audio through when it's occluded to create that sound, that kind of distance and less direct sound profile. Okay, next little one is this is our little music man. And what he's doing is he's playing notes randomly from a little select array of audio clips. And each one of those arrays is representative of a complete chord. And what's happening here is as you're getting closer to him or within different distance thresholds, the chord that's being played changes. So as we get closer, it stays within one little chord zone, and then as we get further away, the chord changes, and then it's different when he's occluded. So yeah. also got this little demo of a cannon shooting. With a nice little flyby effect that's being created simply from white noise. So just as a way of showing off how to work with close proximity sound. And each of those audio sources have a very precise dial-in for how the sound should be represented when the sound is direct versus when the sound is occluded. Okay. Okay, now this shows off what happens when you have extreme differences in audio. So on one side of this room we have high decay, high density and high diffusion within the audio profile. On the other side, excuse me, on the other side we have lower decay, higher diffusion and higher density. So what you end up getting is this kind of pitch ramp as you move between the different areas, and this is more representation of what you probably shouldn't do unless you're going for more of a artistic spatial profile within a game, and not wanting to represent something that's true to life. This is overblown and very intense, but that's intentional just for the example. So there we go. That's pretty much the cutoff point. So just hearing that pitch drop as you transition between the two reverb profiles. And then a big swing and change in sound as different reverb profiles mixed together. Yet again, wouldn't recommend so much this approach to sound design or spatial design within your game, but if you're that way inclined, definitely go for it. Okay, cool. Now, this is moving into a space that I think I called dead room or dead office, but this is definitely more representative of just a generic room sound that you'd have in a game, and a easy profile to switch between. Whereas on the other side of the store we have some more slightly artistic sound profiles. So we've got Shimmering Tunnel, which will blend between our current space that we're in and its sonic profile as we move through. And then at the very end we have a very intense profile called Geiger Counter, which is just pretty much me messing around and pushing things to their extremities. So now we have influence from Dead Room and Shimmering Tunnel. Then as we go through, you'll notice that it changes and swings just into Shimmering Tunnel as the different the Dead Room becomes occluded. There we go. So we're completely in Shimmering Tunnel now. And then the intensity of Geiger Counter. Yep. And then back to a slow mix between both Shimmering Tunnel and Geiger Counter as we transition through the space. And then as Geiger Counter is occluded, it will disappear completely out of the mix. There we go, back to Shimmering Tunnel. Okay. Cool. Back to dead room. And then as we get around to this next area, I'm going to turn off the footsteps. There we go. Footsteps gone. Because what we're arriving in is just a little example of a very phallic looking thing an example of just using audio clips to also represent the sonic profile of something within your game world. So none of this audio is being sent to the reverb system. There's also no reverb on occlusion. But what we're doing is between different distances from the object, when it's turned on, it selects distance-based audio clips to then play back to the player. So at the moment, we're in the far distance. Then as we get closer, it's going to become more mechanical, more pronounced. Very subtly, even more pronounced as you get right up in its face. And then back out to that softer, wetter, slight low pass filter put on them. And then the occluded sound, which allows you to do that really nice ambient something hidden behind a wall or in a different space feel, while also keeping the audio live. And then there's also that distance, those distance thresholds set against the occlusion. So now we're in a mid space, and yeah, we can get some extra transmission coming through. And this is just the low pass and the reverb baked directly into the audio itself before it comes into Unity 3D. So let me switch that off. Yeah, that's pretty much all of the Janky example scene. I will release some tutorials on setup and how to craft your own little spaces and your own reverb profiles, pretty much how the entire system works. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope you really enjoy the package, and yeah, hope to see you all in the next video. Cheers.